This episode's brought to you by Heidi. Imagine kicking back while a HIPAA-compliant AI scribe writes your soap notes for free. Yes, you heard us right, Heidi is free. I'm Dr. Tom, Heidi's CEO and founder, and we started Heidi to stop clinicians wasting their life on clinical documentation. Heidi transforms your consult babble into crisp, clear soap notes, personalizing itself with every edit. One day, Heidi will be your AI resident, looking through research, explaining plans, and doing anything you don't want to. If you currently pay for an AI scribe in your practice, you should swap to Heidi. We'll even credit you for anything you've already paid. Dive into the description for the link and make your practice the envy of every stethoscope in town. Sign up and watch Heidi work its magic, all for free, because you've got better things to do.
We work hard as physicians to take care of the health and well-being of our patients. But when it comes to our money, do we have the same condition of care? Probably not. Let's change that together. Welcome to the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast, where we'll fight and advocate for your financial literacy. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. Thanks for being here. Let's jump into the show. Welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really delighted to introduce today's guest to the audience, Bridget Hom, and she's an entrepreneur at heart. She's got a really fascinating story and journey, incredible energy, and today's going to be really high level because she's got so much experience helping others, entrepreneurs succeed. And so we're going to leave the audience inspired. We're going to talk about self-sabotage, deservability, authentic relationships. And I'm really happy to welcome Bridget to the show. Welcome, Bridget.
Thanks, Christopher. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. We have so many things to share with those entrepreneurs, executives. You know, we're all leaders in some way in our lives and our businesses. So very excited to be here with you.
Yeah. And I know you're a business life coach, you're a motivational speaker. You share what you know to, the masses. And you've also got, a lot of different programs where you can help clients and start talking about how you got started. I know you were in the corporate world and you jumped into entrepreneurship and navigate that transition.
Well, it was during the reinvention evolution of 2020. Right? That's what I call it these days. Actually, I was on my way to getting Zoom divorced and moved out of my big, beautiful home. Virtual school became a reality for my 3 young boys that I lovingly call my savages. And if anyone who has boys, you know what I mean. And my job in the seniors industry disappeared for senior citizen safety. It was a nightmare then for senior citizens. And well, Bridget Freedom Coaching was just a side hustle at the time. I had 3 clients, and I got a random Zoom business networking link. I didn't even know these people. I didn't know what a Zoom was. Like, you knew what a Zoom was. We're meeting over Zoom. And I showed up and I said, Bridget Hom here with Bridget Freedom Coaching. Are you ready to level up? And I was grateful to partner with 6 clients within 6 weeks. And my programs were born. My bestselling book stuck already. And I got to a 6-figure plus income in 1 year. And here we are today.
Wow. Yeah. I remember those days, March 2020, man, that was like scary. I thought September 2008 was scary. Man, March 2020, man, that just blew everything. Just how unstable things are. So one question, go ahead. Sorry.
Actually, I was talking to someone who was on the fence about, staying in their job or venturing into entrepreneurship. And especially during that time, we were in this place where we had to decide what our next move was. And so I found that many people took it as a huge opportunity to make massive shifts in their companies, into entrepreneurship, in their personal lives. I thought it was actually really much a reinvention evolution.
Yeah, and actually it's almost like a permission vacation because everything's shut down. And so you don't really have much to do except to, explore new things and really take a new assessment of life and what you want to do. And so in a lot of ways it was good and in a lot of ways it was bad as well. So
I would actually say it helped people step out of the noise in their lives.
Yeah.
It helped people, situations, moments of contrast. Like, we don't have to go into all of it, but just in general, right now, today, moments of contrast give us the opportunity to step out of the noise of our everyday life everyday living, the never-ending to-do list, and really pause with a purpose and say, do I like where my trajectory is headed? Do I like the destination that I'm heading towards? What do you think?
Yeah. Because most people live life on autopilot. They just they're just sleepwalking through life. And so you need these moments like COVID to really just wake people up. You need something like a health scare or something like a job loss or something to really just waken them up. What I love is I love talking about laws, and you have this law of deservability, transforming your mindset for success. How do you apply this law?
That's a great question. It's always about the how, right?
Yeah.
You're like, it's great. The what and the why. I know why I'm doing this. I know what. So the law of deservability, you really want to look at what deservability means. And the law of deservability states that we create our reality, our relationships, and our business, not based on what we desire, but what we believe we deserve. It's based on that deeper subconscious program that we actually actively and, inactively create for ourselves. I always say what we're thinking right now, what you're thinking, who you're being, what you're saying, what you're doing about your life and your business, and how you're showing up is creating that subconscious program. And that subconscious program dictates your reality, your relationships, your business growth, that destination of where you're heading. But most people live under the influence, like you were saying. They live under the influence of circumstances, environments, situations. We allow all these external factors to dictate who we're going to be today. And the law of observability is really taking ownership of our headspace and that destination for ourselves.
I love that, because we're going to talk about overused terms, and you talk about mindset as an overused terms and this deservability versus desire. And so a lot of people say, okay, I can meditate, I can do my affirmations, I can do my healing. How do you reconcile deservability and just kind of past trauma, emotional guilt, shame, and how that affects or relates to self-sabotage?
That's a great question. The truth is, it's not saying I deserve, it's I believe I deserve. So that key word of belief is huge for discerning your next move or how you're going to deal with your trauma, your guilt, your shame. I say how to hire and fire the right mental team or break up with that mental team, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
But it's acknowledging that this was a program, a subconscious program created by circumstances, environments, past relationships, opinions, objections, anything that you've dealt with the world around you, and seeing how we've allowed those things dictate who we are. Really staring those moments in the face and saying, was that me? Or is that my real authentic self? And that's where we get into that perspective of what is imposter syndrome? And I always say the simplest way to define imposter syndrome is adopting lies as our truth. Adopting or saying that certain experiences are me. Those defined who I am. But that's not true. Imposter syndrome is like putting on a jacket. It's like, I'm wearing this for a time. I'm wearing my trauma. I'm wearing my guilt. I'm wearing my shame. But you can take off that jacket at any time by reprogramming your mindset, your thoughts, words, actions, and emotions.
Yeah. It's really interesting because, talking with clients, they have these, whatever happened in the past. And then they also have things that they're worried and anxious about in the future. And to come to terms with your past trauma and self-sabotage, is it basically forget about it, or do you have to kind of create new meanings out of the bad things that happened to you in the past?
When talking about trauma, I always say that, and I'll take this personal for a second. When going through divorce, when going through any negative circumstances, you must decide, are you going to let this define you? You must decide that. You must look at it in that moment and say, is this going to be true for me for a lifetime? But where we get into the place where that trauma or that situation is useful, I was talking to someone in networking today, a woman who went through a massive amount of trauma. And now she's an inspirational speaker talking about her plight over in the Middle East and how she was in this prison camp and how she escaped, but now her mindset is totally different. She helps others to escape their prisons, which are in their minds today in company culture and corporate America. And I just thought that was so incredible.
Yeah.
What I want you to know is you never want to delete anything along your timeline because it could always be used to empower someone, to give someone else the authority to take ownership of their life, of their headspace. And so everything along my timeline, I've been able to use to help someone else move the needle for business growth, to help someone, in that sink or swim moment in their life. And so everything is usable. And that's where you find that authentic power to keep you going. I always talk about be the empowerment generator. And so that's what I would say to anyone who's struggling with trauma or guilt or shame. Look at how you can harness that energy to help someone else to heal or work through it in some way.
Say hello and welcome to Lightspeed Investing, where the rigors of medical training lay the foundations for unmatched market performance, backed by a solid skill set in pattern recognition and technical analysis. Drawing inspiration from the legendary John Arnold, a Vanderbilt graduate who traded natural gas successfully by following a proprietary system and thus coined as one of the world's youngest billionaires back in 2007 at the age of 33, Lightspeed has crafted a unique investing approach that merges medical prudence, professionalism, and ethics with cutting-edge financial strategies in a most disciplined manner. Born from the daring vision of a formal internal medicine physician and a surgically trained CEO, they've charted a course from the realms of medical practice to the dynamic world of short-term investing within the futures and commodities market. Together with their seasoned team, they don't just share their knowledge, they invite you to witness the art of trading in action. Join Lightspeed Investing on this voyage of wealth discovery by connecting with them on LinkedIn in the links in the show notes below. And you mentioned a lot of things in that to unpack. And one of those things was, kind of as it relates to sabotage to success. And we're going to talk about the entrepreneurship journey in the next half. Tony Robbins says that we have an emotional thermostat. And if we go above that, even though we desire that, we start to self-sabotage to get back to our emotional thermostat. So good for constantly like overweight or obese or in debt or something, we'll do things to sabotage our progress. So, once you're on this journey, how do you keep on it? How do you, you've made those New Year's resolutions, you've got your coach, you've done all these things. And then how do you prevent from going back to your normal habits?
What a great question. And speaking of Tony Robbins, I was watching him do an example with a client of his, and he told the client, focus on the color red. Now look around the room. What is red around the room? Right? And then he said, all right, close your eyes again. You're going to see the color brown. Now, what do you see that's brown around the room? He said, what did you notice? He said, all I noticed were the color that I was looking for. Yeah. And so that's what it takes. You have to start to hone in and laser focus on what you see success as inevitable in your life. If you're going to be an entrepreneur and you want to be known for one thing, whatever that looks like, marketing, sales, mindset, sports, whatever it is, medicine, etc. What do you want to be known for? You want to focus on that. And like Elon Musk's girlfriend, I saw this on a TikTok, said that something that I admire about Elon was that let me see if I say this correctly, that his no's honor his yeses. He says no to everything that is not in alignment with his yes. So what is the yes you want to say to yourself today for personal growth? What is the yes you want to say to yourself today for business success, for monetizing, for healing, whatever that looks like? Make your no's honor your yeses.
I really love that. And the more I study entrepreneurs, I did see that TikTok video. It's really fascinating. And the more, like, for example, Bezos and Musk and Zuckerberg, Gates, all these guys, they say no to almost 99.9% of things. And then they focus on that 0.1% that they can. And the more successful they are, the more you have to say no, and the more you have to focus. And, even I did an experiment where I was like, just looking at, an outcome or a situation, and, it had the good and the bad, and how people tend to focus on the negative as opposed to the positive, and the outcome. So it's really interesting in retraining your mind and your brain. So kind of onto entrepreneurship is this, we talked about mindset, and one thing is talking about is, you're a life coach, and what do you find that most people struggle with, and what is one solution that you could share based on that problem?
What I find that most entrepreneurs and coaches struggle with, and leaders in general, if you're a leader listening and you have a team, the number one thing that most people struggle with is gaining that self-awareness, giving themselves the time and the space to become self-aware so that they can get to self-direction. And then that next level of manifestation, reprogramming constantly and consistently. So the one thing I always say, take a moment in the morning to brain dump. Set a 2-minute timer, write your headspace out on paper, and see how you are going to show up for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Most people just are human doings. And the truth is, if you want to be a great human being and doing better, you start with a self-awareness exercise. There are many of them out there, right? You and I do them as well. So to get to self-direction, who will I show up as today? How do I show up authentically? And I always say, make your number one goal to show up well and authentically. Your number 2 goal is to empower the person in front of you, no matter what. So how do you want people to perceive you? And what do you want people to gain from their interaction with you today? And then we're all going to become empowerment generators, just getting people to more and better every day. And so when you have that focus, since the brain can only focus on one thing at a time, it changes your everything, the culture around you. All of your interactions become an event and something that's empowering.
I really love the intentionality that you have behind directing your focus. And it's all about how you direct your focus and just how you see problems. And for a lot of the audience out there, I know I struggle with this, is just letting go, just kind of, I've actually done experiments where I just it's so hard to let go of something. But then if you do let it go, you'll see massive results. So how do you let go in this realm, when you talked about, brain dump and kind of intentionally directing your focus towards what you want to become? How do you let go? I know it sounds easy, but it's like one of the hardest things.
It is, because the subconscious mind needs to have a program functioning all the time. And so if you're selling your mind on, okay, I don't have anything new today, I'm just going to do what I've done in the past, I'm just going to, go with the flow, go through the motions, your subconscious mind will keep that negative program running of not letting go of the past, or a resentment, right? Resentments typically are the things that hold us back. The fastest, most simplest way to get through the process of letting go is writing, and writing down what you don't want to let go, and asking yourself, is this true for me or about me? Because typically we're saying that this is true for me or about me. There's some element that's true, but there's also an element that's a lie. And so to be able to put things in a context of what is true and what is a lie about you and about your experiences. So if you sit and put a pen to paper, you'll notice what is a lie, what is the truth about you. And you'll start to sell yourself. We talk about sales a lot. Sell yourself on seeing that problem or what you don't want to let go of in a whole new light. And you'll start to develop a different process to address it.
Yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. I love that. What is it true? I think there was that, one book is talking about doing the work is this true or is it not true? And just kind of questioning your thoughts and, is this true or not true? And then most of the time it's your perception and it's not really true. It's just, your kind of subconscious programming. I really am really deeply fascinated by this discussion. I know we're kind of coming to the end, but talk about how your business helps. I know because you coach, you do speaking. You've also got a 90-day Find Your Freedom program and also an 8-week program as well. So kind of talk about your company, your business, and how you help others and how can people reach you.
Leaders and realtors, loan originators, doctors, all of the people who fall under that business mindset. They need to avoid burnout. They need to continue to focus on personal development. I believe that they deserve a program that helps them to understand, how do I stay laser focused? How do I keep my eye on the ball of what I want my life and my business to look like? So I specifically designed programs to help entrepreneurs to accelerate their results and get past that 10, 20, 30K mark a month and know how to sell, brand, and market themselves, because most entrepreneurs need to stay inspired. They need to honor their roles and their goals. And they want someone who will help them have new proven strategies to grow their business. Also know how to, honor the forgiveness, clear their headspace. And like you said, move past what do I need to let go of so I can take on more things, opportunities, experiences that are more in alignment with my authentic self. So my Stuck on Ready programs, my Find Your Freedom programs help to accelerate those results. And you can find me at bridgethom.me. And you can find my book that will give you a lot of proven strategies at stuckonready.com, and you get it for free there.
I love that. And for all the audience out there listening, Bridget for coming on, and sure to check out her resources in the links in the show notes and connect with her like her on socials. She's on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all the major platforms, and check out her book as well as her coaching programs. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thanks again from Heidi. Elevate your practice with a free AI scribe, zero cost, HIPAA compliant, and time saving. Ready to swap? We've got you covered for past AI scribe expenses. Head to HeidiHealth.com, get started, and make your practice the envy of every stethoscope in town.
I'm excited that you made it for another episode. You are truly the best. If you've been following the show for a while, you know that my passion is to bring you the education you need to find your path to financial freedom. Please come back week after week for new content, new resources, and great guests. Until then, if you haven't already, please be sure to check out the website, www.drchrislewmdphd.com for more support. I'll see you next week.